I want to bring in Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle from Pennsylvania, ranking member of the House Budget Committee. Congressman, it's good to see you again, and I understand you just came from a Democratic caucus meeting. What can you tell us about it?
Well, I can tell you that in that room, every single person who spoke up talked about what a terrible deal this is, frankly, not even an agreement. It is something that makes sure the health care crisis imposed by Republicans continues in this country. You know, we're looking at the expiration of the Obamacare tax credits in just over a month and a half. We're then looking at the Medicare cuts to take effect January 1st. And then, of course, let's not forget the biggest cuts of all that are coming, the Medicaid cuts, which are coming next year. In total, Republican cuts to health care amount to over $1 trillion in order to help fund their tax breaks for billionaires. So the fact that this was not addressed is the reason why I will be voting no, and possibly every single House Democrat, but at least 99% of us will also be voting no.
Let me ask you about what the Republicans have said, that they would consider extending the ACA tax credits, but they want in exchange that there be more insurance restrictions on abortion. What do you say to that?
Well, first, I'm very skeptical that the same people who just a few months ago voted for these cuts. Let me be clear about this. These cuts were not just naturally going to happen. All of this crisis is directly as a result of the Republicans' tax bill that they passed over the summer, what Trump used to call the big, beautiful bill, but then it became so deeply unpopular he now doesn't even mention it. Well, I will continue to mention it because I will remind people that, again, over $1 trillion of cuts to health care, it was the Republicans, almost all of them, who voted for this. So I find it a little hard to believe that the same people who cut for over $1 trillion worth of health care just a few months ago are now suddenly going to come back and say, oh, no, we really want to address this health care crisis that we ourselves created.
Do you believe that with what's happening with ACA, with the bills that are going out, with the folks who will lose their insurance, that there will be increasing pressure? Do you think that this is something that cannot be resolved until if and when the midterms happen and if the Democrats take control? Where do you see this going? The suffering is going to continue.
Yeah, so I would think that any Republican who watched the election results from last week would think, oh, boy, we are facing a very angry electorate. They realize that they were hoodwinked, that a year ago Donald Trump said, vote for me and costs will magically come down. And here we are a year later, costs haven't gone down. In fact, they've gone up dramatically, in large part because of his tariff tax policies. So I would think that Republicans, even if they don't really care about health care, I would think they would have every incentive to work with us to solve the problem they created. But so far, I don't see any evidence of that. And I think, if anything, the last 6 weeks should show you just how far Republicans are willing to go to ensure those health care cuts take place.
I wonder if the Democratic caucus meeting, as I mentioned, that you just came out of was solely about the budget, about the vote that you're expected to take later on tonight, or was there any conversation surrounding the Epstein files? And I wonder what your thoughts are on the newly released emails.
Well, the conversation in our caucus was almost entirely focused on the vote that will be coming up here just in a few hours. But in terms of the dramatic revelation that came out today as a result of the investigatory efforts led by House Democrats on the Oversight Committee, it is one of those things that's both shocking and not surprising. I mean, there is a reason why Donald Trump has worked so hard to keep these Epstein files covered up. There is a reason why the House Speaker has taken the extraordinary step of not seating a duly elected member of Congress for well over a month. As everyone knows, it is because today she will be the 218th signature on the discharge petition, so we can finally have a vote to release the Epstein files. So where there's smoke, there's fire. And again, what was revealed today is both shocking, but to me, not surprising.
Congressman Brendan Boyle, on a very busy day on the Hill, thank you for coming on the show.